Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board meeting for September. Especially welcome here to Terry Lamb, who's our Three Waters advisor, negotiator, field rep. Gary Taylor, Military Management, Karakia Board, Project Delivery Manager, and our fine councillors over here, Gary and Terry. Politics. We have one from Kath Whiteman. Can I have a mover and seconder, please, for the apologies? Yep. Who is the Yep. Public forum. Not aware of any speakers of public forum. Move on. Items, any items not on the agenda? Have you none? You've got conflict of interest?
Yeah, I'll have one application for the Tairua-Pāuanui promotions because I'm actually still on the committee for that.
The discretionary fund.
And the discretion, okay.
Right. Thank you, Barry. To be and moving on to the confirmation of minutes. The motion being that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board confirms the 15th of July 2024 Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board minutes as a true and quick record of proceedings. So moved. Second. Yeah. Any errors or if being none, all in favour? Aye. Against? Item 2.1, discretionary fund requests.
Okay, I'll take the items as read. On page 10, there is a paragraph there saying area manager will update the board on the day if there's any further interest. That's not listed here. I have had correspondence yesterday from the Tairua Heritage that they will be looking for some funding at the October meeting for their production.
Okay, I'll read the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the discretionary fund request report dated the 12th of August 24 and 2 approves the following grant request. Can I have a move and a second, please? Yep. Thank you. I've only got one comment about the request for that Pāuanui what's that? Motions. Is it
Talk about the
Pāuanui Tairua promotions?
No.
the rabbits.
No, the exercise thing.
Oh,
it's up here in Tairua. We've got a lot of them. We've got Steady As You Go, Upright and Active, Pilates, Swiss Ball. It's one of them. We've got something going over there. No. Yes, it's
yeah. Is that the one about the
higher of the rooms.
Of the rooms.
Yeah.
Who do they pay for that?
It goes to the Pāuanui hub, the information centre there, do all the bookings, but the money comes to council because it's council's building. So they just do the hireage on behalf of DCDC.
The fees?
And the
Who
fees,
sets the fees?
so council sets the fees, so they're in the fees and charges.
It's a community group, so I think that's right. So they're saying that they only pay $10 everywhere else.
So yeah.
I mean, it's only an administrative thing, really.
So the fees and charges are set. So that's something that the board, if they want to change the hireage costs for the hub, can bring up during the annual planning process.
Well, it's been moved and seconded. No other comments? All in favour?
You guys over there happy with this?
You all agree it's for the full totals?
Yeah,
Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
yeah, I don't have any other.
We haven't got, I mean, we've still got money left, so, and there's no one here that's applying. I've got an issue with putting aside.
That's what we want to know.
Yeah, I just, I'm just wondering how summer program.
I'm sorry, I did have a phone call on Friday from them.
Right.
Are they going to apply later?
They'll come to the October meeting. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
You've got 26k left, is that right?
Okay. It's been so moved. All in favour?
Aye.
Thanks. 3.1, Emergency Management Unit. Update report. Come in, Gary.
Mr. Chair, apologies from Stephen Town. He was going to attend the meeting as well this morning, but he can't make it, so hence his handout. I'm presenting on his behalf. He'll be in attendance tomorrow on the task. The technical report is read. Is there any issues, any questions? So are we going to run through things, or?
I've got a few questions. These placarded properties, where are they?
They're primarily on the western seaboard. There are a couple on this side, but primarily they're on the Thames coast.
The Thames Coast.
This has been going on since Gabriel.
Cyclone Hale. So it's surprisingly, Cyclone Hale did more damage than Cyclone Gabriel. Gabriel just knocked us over. Hale set us up, and so the placarded properties began then, and yes, and we've still got them.
So why is it taking so long?
So I've mentioned in there that there are a number of circumstances. One of them is there are legal issues, there's landowner issues, there's neighbour issues, and they all compound. Some people got paid out because when EQC pay out, like say, for a $600,000 fix, they'll only pay out by $50,000, and that's all they're obligated to do because of the New Zealand system. And that leaves a shortfall, so the people can't afford to continue those repairs or retaining walls and so forth. So there's a lot of delays. But the staff meet very regularly and are in touch with those people and try and move things along. So
Are these people with no insurance?
some of them don't have insurance. Some of them have been paid out, but it's not sufficient. Some have got landowner. A number of them have got property disputes. Neighbour disputes. DOC is the major landowner with a number of disputes, and their philosophy is
Behind the little.
well, it's just they don't recognise that it's just a act of God's sort of thing. So yeah, but they're working on it, and one by one they're just getting knocked off, so which is really good.
So under the community resilience part there, with reference to the generators, was there any consideration about putting a generator out here at a substation? To run on sufficient capacity, I mean, they're out there, they're made to run Pāuanui and Tairua.
I'll have to check and come back to you. No, I don't have.
I did mention to me then, some months ago now. Because we're pretty unique here, we get shut down. Not only we get our power, we're isolated both ways. So it was something I did talk to them about.
I know that Powerco are doing something here. I'll just have to double check. I'll get back to you on the facts.
They'll be running a fibre cable through, linking 230 or 50 k's of fibre linking the substations. I think that's good. And this elderly, the program for the elderly sector, self-awareness and preparedness and resilience, how's that going to? Who's going to run that here? Is someone going to come into Tairua
Yes.
and run these seminars or whatever it is?
Yes. So they're working like with your elderly, your retirement home or your rest home down here. What's it called?
Well, he's been going on. Yeah,
aged care. So they'll go into there and they'll work with the manager and the staff, and primarily, and from there they'll run external seminars if required. So whatever the community wants. There's 4 staff have been engaged by this trust to go and deliver the work over the next 12 months.
You'd be aware of the age profile of Tairua and Pāuanui.
Yeah, and the Coromandel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know our two communities on the last census, I'm not sure about the one that's just is still processing, are the two oldest in New Zealand. So there's a lot of people not living in aged care facilities that need some sort of support when we get needs.
So these people have to go to the clubs and organisations. They go to any structured organisation where there are elderly taking part, and they'll work with them.
You say care and friendship, for example, in Tairua.
Yep, they'll put in part in that.
That would be a first one.
Yeah.
Care and friendship. There's a lot of small groups that are, like some of these fitness groups. Yeah, you want to be able to get them all of the meeting. Oh, sorry, mate.
It's all right.
You can't get me from there.
You could throw something to it.
So Gary, just looking through your report here, it mentions here that Pauco have invested heavily into 3 strategic locations. 2 have been Marai. Where's the other one?
So the other one is the new Sir Edmund Hillary's Centre up in Port Charles.
Right.
The new outward bound course.
So also there was the other smaller kits that went round, didn't there? You got quite a few donated. Was it 36 or something across the district? So how many have come into Tairua here, or Taranui?
Tairua was the first, and they got the works. You
We
got,
got a small generator.
yeah, and Starlink, and
Yes,
yeah, they got the big kit.
They got the container.
No,
No.
they just got the big kit, which is a
Box.
It still fits on a trolley. We've actually got it on racks in the back of the fire station.
Okay, so some were container groups, some were smaller sheds.
So there's 5 containers.
Yeah.
These are what we call caches. These are the big ones that our whole community can.
So where did they go?
So they're in the 5 major communities. So there's Thames, Coromandel Town, Whitianga, and Whangatā. Sorry, 4 towns.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4. Okay, right, okay. And then the other group's towns got a smaller group, a smaller unit, which was a generator. Did they get the shed as well?
No, we didn't do the sheds.
Didn't do the sheds.
Yeah, it was all, once you get into that, but we had problems with it. So some of them have purchased their own containers. Some of them got extra funding from the state, and they bought little containers and put them within their communities. And
So there was some training and ongoing support around these plans. What's that? Can you give us an idea what that is?
so, I mean, it's quite obvious. You know, we've put a lot of gear out there, and it needs maintenance, and the teams that are going to operate them need ongoing training. And so once Pam is finished, she now starts on the training program.
They haven't kicked that into life yet.
It's about to start. Yeah, now that we've just started. She's in the final phases. Probably by the end of this month or early November, or by early November, everything will be completed and stopped.
So you mentioned there was a cost to this. Is there an ongoing cost of maintenance for these kits? Is there an idea?
Approximately, we've worked out approximately $50,000 a year for it. That's for the entire cost.
So who's going to do the maintenance?
So we've got contractors doing the things like fuel. You know, we've got specialist people going around, and our staff will go around and train the staff on things like Starlink operation and those sort of things. It's just replacing kit, although everything's long life and everything. It's just about checking
sitting idle, isn't it?
just making sure everything's ticking over, the fuel gets exchanged, the Starlink batteries work, all those sort of things.
Did Pāuanui get the same kit as we got?
No.
Why not?
I don't think they wanted it because we delivered what the community wanted, and I'm not sure exactly what Pāuanui asked for, but
My concern is that there is cut off from us as we are to everyone else when the thing goes pear-shaped.
I'll check that if I do.
once again, it's I'll just talk to Ben. But, so this was community-led. So what we did is Pam went to the communities, or our team went to the communities and sort of gave them a menu of things, and they chose what they wanted. Some didn't want Starlinks because they had other forms of communication.
So those, can I just go back and just finish this off? So the community response plans that Pam was putting together, that was bringing those smaller areas into a community group that looks after each other. Is that finished?
Yes, that's been in place for some time. What we're just doing is constantly updating those plans.
She's done all the training at those smaller.
Yes, you know, she's been doing that for a number of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know she was last time, she still had a few to do.
Yes, I think she has completed them, and it's just constant work. It's just going around now that they all have kits, they've got to include those in the plans, and it's just how we communicate with those other communities.
It's been frequently viewing, isn't it? I mean, people fall off the list.
They do. Yeah.
They're quite small generators.
Yeah, I don't really have to run them. Charge up your phone, so they can virtually make a cup of tea.
And the last one I just want to finish off here is, we've got a national emergency signal thing come through, you know, we get on our phones. Is that going to be the basis of going forward?
That will be it.
That will be it.
All the resources are being put into that as
Yes,
it's got about a 95–98% strike rate now. So that's good compared to everything else that's been tried, including what we've been trying to do over the years.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? I'll put the motion. The Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the emergency management report dated the 16th of August 2024. Can I have a move and a second, please?
Yes.
In favour?
Aye.
Thank you, second, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
3.2, Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board CAPEX projects for 2024-25 and other operational information updates. With the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board CAPEX projects for 2024-2025 and other operational information updates. Could I have a move and a second, please? Move. Seconded? Yep. You. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing? I guess my week 8 for me today, I've got a few faces that are familiar to me now, but there are a few new ones, so I thought I'd come along today and just introduce myself to you all. So, Luke Archbold, the delivery manager for the parts delivery team, the project delivery team. My background is most recently with Hamilton City Council for the last 3 years, delivering their parks and recreation work as the manager there, but prior to that, I worked for the Department of Conservation for 14 years, delivering their strategic projects around the country for out of the National Office in Wellington Last. What you'll see today in the report is different to the normal report you receive. It is the start of a new LTP and a new financial year, and so this report shows you what's on the cards and what's going to be delivered this year, rather than an update on what's happening. What you will notice is that there's been a little bit more structure put into this, with the dark blue banners showing you which team is delivering what projects. That theme will carry through to your standard update report as well. And I guess what I'd ask is, if you've got anything that's not being delivered by the project delivery team and you've got a question, please reach out to the governance groups, let them know which one you're interested in, and then ahead of the meeting I can reach out to the relevant team and see if they can have somebody dial in or get a download from them around that project so that I can answer any questions for you. Otherwise, I'll take it as read and open to any questions.
Well,
No, it took them all this spring.
oh yeah, I did note the lids or the roofs on the reservoirs. And I did ask through Eileen what was happening with our, I understand we had one that's been roofless for a while up on Henry Terrace. I was concerned about this coming summer. We're going to have water shortages. As I understand, we've got one out of action, has been out of action for a while.
Right, water reservoirs?
Yeah, up on Henry Terrace.
Yep.
The update was last point under the Pāuanui wastewater treatment. It's got the construction is closed, will be awarded the week of the 26th of August.
Well, that's the scrubber. Now we're talking about the water reservoirs.
The water reservoirs up on
This is
Honeymoon
not
Terrace.
No, it's not on there, but Jack Deep and my team is delivering that project. They've just finished the tender process for that work. It's now being signed off, and so work will get underway as soon as they finish the contract negotiation.
prior to Christmas.
That's exactly the aim. So the target is to have all of that work done pre-peak season,
Yeah.
so that you've not got any concerns
Yeah.
around bush.
That you don't see that whole one.
Oh, well, I don't even know how the roof got knocked off the thing. I thought it was a pretty substantial sort of.
I think that's right.
They were Rob Patterson put those.
Yeah, that's right. How long has that been going? About 4 or 5 years?
You know, that's good, that's good. The replacement of the Corrie Park toilets here, I know Councillor Walker mentioned something about that at the meeting.
Yeah.
About the timing, it would be good to have it at the top of the list.
Got a comment if I can.
Yeah.
Is that right? Through the chair. Thanks, Luke, and coming along. It's really good to see you. Yeah, it does say here that the geotech and the civil infrastructure is all being completed on those toilets.
Yeah.
So there's a big gap between now and next June, and you still think they won't be started pre-Christmas, or is there opportunity?
So we're going to go through a procurement process. Essentially, the procurement plan is now sitting for approval with senior leadership. Once that's over the line, we can get a crack on to procuring the contractor, so it's design and build contract. Depending on how we go with that process, we may be able to get some stuff happening pre-Christmas, but we'll be focusing on the ones which are low impact in the busy season. So we've got 7 different toilets, that are TIF funded. The idea is that we will tactically tackle the order of them based on minimising impact in the busy season. So the priority will be those that have facilities already and we're building something new somewhere else. We'll assess where that location of build, because you don't want the construction period and construction zone to be a dangerous area for a busy period as well, because those areas will need to be managed through that.
Are they kit sets of these ones? Are they built in situ?
So there's 2 main providers for these sorts of toilets, Permaloo and Exclude. Both of them essentially take an approach where they set that foundation up, they build off-site, and then they come in and drop it in pretty quickly. Both of those options will provide that sort of facility.
So both of them are built sourced from outside, they're not on on-site builds.
Exactly right. But the foundations need to be built and that needs to be secured.
Okay, that's good. Can I just go back to the odour control? I see here that the equipment is it being manufactured overseas, is it?
That's my understanding.
Right. And you're looking at November and a completion date by the end of November.
Yep. So that'll be when the contract is finished on site. There may be a little bit of sign off and certification, but be open before the sunset.
That's pretty important.
Just to get to the Pāuanui Place playground renewal. Is that a depreciated project? It's got depreciation money in there?
My understanding is a standard renewals funded project. They're minor components. It's not a big budget for it.
Yeah.
And it's fairly targeted towards the end of life elements within the playground.
Okay. So you're just going to assess it for a start before you make a decision?
Yeah, so we put pre-me, they put it through the LTP. That got approved for some funding based on the remaining life of some of those components. The project team will then go out and assess the components that were indicated, make sure we are at the end of life and replace what's required.
Well, so this is just assessment money, is it?
No, this should be doing some of those hard upgrades.
The Tairua Cemetery. Is that just a makeover? Is that just a repairs and maintenance on the deal?
It's a standard renewal budget, so it's not one that I am familiar with. So if you want some specifics, I can go away and then take that back after this meeting. My understanding of that particular line is that it's a standard renewal, so it'll be looking at what's at the end of its life at the cemetery and just looking to renew and replace.
Yeah.
we moving on down the page or we over the page?
Yeah.
Where we go?
Yep. Yep.
My one's around the Tairua Heritage Society, over page
39.
It talks about a meeting that will be held in August, September. Is that going to have our place?
So that's me.
That's you.
That's me, area manager. That meeting will take place at the moment. David and Oriel are overseas. As soon as they come back, we'll be meeting up with them. They're back in the next week or so. And
So
then
what's the
we'll
purpose of the meeting?
So the purpose is to start looking at doing a feasibility study that the council has requested to do with the building and a heritage society.
Is that money in there? So I don't see 25K going to cover that?
We won't know until we start the discussions and start the process. But that's what council has put in the LTP for it.
So where would the money come from if it was required to get more money to do a feasibility study?
We'll have to come back to the board.
Yeah, we've already spent 100 and something.
That's correct. Let's come back to the board.
Yes, with the chair, that would be up to the society and ourselves to sort of work through. It's not on this update, but we did discuss it at the agenda review. We have met with them in June and July, just to let them know the outcome of the LTP and what the next steps would be. They seemed comfortable at that point and wanted to meet when they get back off leave.
So I've got a bit of concerns about this because we're well down the road with this, it's drawings and things like that. Isn't that beyond a feasibility study when you get into architectural drawings and design and project management? So it comes back as a starting again. That's what I'm trying to get my head around. Are you starting again, or are we happy with what the work we've done, or what's going on?
So just through the chair, when I spoke about this at the LTP deliberations, I did note that there does need to be a bit of a reset to the project to look at how we've got to where we are, to look at exactly what the need is, whether what was proposed is the right way of delivering that. Hopefully we don't have to repeat any work, but we were not able to get the funding for the 1.3 mil new build. So it's really a matter of just revisiting that. Already in those discussions in June and July, the Trust has actually come up with some alternative options that they're pursuing. I won't talk about them here because they're commercially sensitive, but they're also looking at different ways to try and get that project off the ground. But yeah, we do need a bit of a reset with them. That will include the board as well.
I can understand the reset. I just wanted to be able to get some confidence that we've already gone down the road so far and we're pausing. We don't want to go back and go down the road again. We want to pause and move forward. That would be the ideal situation here. The work we've done to date should be minor changes, fine, or whatever it is, but I think we're on a course to get this thing project moving. So it would be great if the 25K was just a pause to figure out what they're going to do in terms of funding and then moving forward, as opposed to going back and starting the whole process over again. I'd like to see that.
Jeez. Putting all that money back down there.
Well, yeah, we did a lot of work.
A lot of work.
We engaged an architect and we were led along the garden path. Then someone pulled the bridge away. We all fell over.
Are you a councillor?
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty sad to see it go out of the program, quite honestly.
Any further comments? Any further on the CAPEX? If not, give me so move. All in favour?
Aye.
Yes. Harry? Thank you, Luke. Or are you here for the action schedule too, are you?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I can stick around if needed.
Thank you very much. 3.3 action schedule. Governance advisor.
Through the chair, we're just still waiting on confirmation whether there's been some information from Tairua regarding the
yes.
insurances buildings.
Was this a query that was raised and we,
Yes. Um,
Mayor Lee.
at the last meeting in Tairua-Pāuanui, yes.
so it relates to buildings we've got here, is it?
To all the
All
halls,
Insurances.
all the halls and
Oh,
utilities that we've been charged.
I'll read out the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the action schedule report dated 15th of July 2024. Have a brief and a second, please.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, the discussion was the COLAB. So
That discussion came from the requests from the community groups for funding to pay for the lease costs, which is your rates, insurances, public liability, etc.
Or they pay that on the hall, do they?
Halls, yeah.
All the halls? Yeah, some of them.
Well, yeah.
That's part of the intention.
Yeah, so there's been work been happening in the background to actually, some do have it in their leases, some don't. And part of the grants process that has been worked on, they're actually looking into with the property team about trying to get consistency across all of the halls.
Feels like money go around a bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Through the chair, just to expand upon Eileen's point, there was a briefing the other day from Rose and Heather, who've been working on the grants piece of work. They've now been out to all of the community boards. One of the concerns that they heard was exactly what Terry said about the money go around for halls. So we have had a conversation with property about potentially treating them differently, and that will be in the report that goes to council in the next month or so, before we go out and engage on the next grant policy. So we haven't quite finalised that yet, but yeah, we will be seeking approval to see if we can treat halls differently and stop the money go around.
differently, how do you mean differently?
So rather than the applications
One
coming
policy is not going to suit all halls, is that what you're saying?
So rather than applications coming in for every little bit involved and coming in differently, we're looking at potentially standardising what the council will provide, and rather than making it come through the grants process, instead looking at the concept of treating it as a budget for halls and potentially libraries as well. But again, that's just being worked through. It's something that needs to go to the council for them to support staff looking into.
You know, I think through the chair, you know, these halls are voluntarily looked after, voluntarily cleaned, voluntary, you know, right down to even to minor maintenance. So we're asking the council really just to maintain the hall, pay the insurance, and let people use it. That would be the way forward for communities. They're doing it. They need these facilities to have community essence, you know, the functions. They're a key part of the community vibrance and continuation of groups. So really support council looking deep into that and trying to find a way forward.
This has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. I mean, our hall committee here pays nearly $7,000 a year for rates, insurance on a council-owned property, and it's poorly. And then Hikuai are different, and it pay half as much, quarter as much. So we need to get some traction on this.
It seems senseless. You know, they come to the board for a grant to pay for the hall's usage that goes to the council, it comes to a grant, it's just money around.
I mean, our hall committee, some of those guys, they've been there for a long time, and they were, you know, you can't replace these committees. They've had enough. I'm ready to walk away. So if they do walk away, what happens to the, how are the council going to?
Yes, it just lies there, it costs me money for doing nothing.
Right?
Well, the generally was the last reasonably recent council meeting, a general feeling from council that system wasn't right. Council buildings, and we just need to.
Every 6 weeks this reason is bloody hit. It's just, you know.
Through the chair, we've heard that loud and clear. We've had that loud and clear from all of the boards as well. What we'll do is make sure that Eileen send you a copy of the council report when it's ready to go, so that you can give Gary and Terry any last sort of feedback. But your feedback is consistent with all of the other boards.
I think our councillors are well aware of the situation, huh?
Yeah.
Not unique, are we? Yeah. Okay, any further discussion on that? If not, all in favour?
Aye.
Yeah. My report?
I wanted to talk to this.
Yeah, what do you
What a
mean?
surprise!
This is a fundamental need for the town is security. So many non-resident ratepayers, your properties are up for robbery during the winter when no one's around. And I think the board, I'm looking for the board to have a strong stance on this to try and get those cameras put in place, and the police running them, police monitoring them, and the police following up on burglaries and making sure they catch them. And it's worked really well at Tonga.
That's right, Karen.
When they, and the police will show you, it's on his phone all the time. We've had situations where cars have been stolen out of the area, come into town, they look at the camera, they see the car coming into town, they see another car going out at the same time in the morning, they can track them down, they can put several in Waihi on the way through. You owe it to your non-resident ratepayers to look after their properties as best you can when they're away. So I'd really like to see something, a motion on the board, do something to get this across the line.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Pāuanui get that system?
They have one camera in and out, which is right, and they've tried to upgrade that to a number recognition camera. I don't know if they've got that upgrade.
So they've replaced their cameras over there. They've got two.
Yeah, I think they have.
Two on the roundabout, and I'm not sure where the other two are. And they,
They like it, yeah.
I remember having a case many years ago where they had the camera and solved a very serious case by the camera. And it can cover, you know, something like this was a homicide.
I was standing there one day with our policeman and his phone rang and he said, "Oh, we've got to go, there's a stolen car just gone across the Pipi Bridge."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the number plate recognition camera there.
Yeah.
But that's just one. It doesn't cover the.
Oh, no,
We need the other in town.
We need the whole town covered.
You should look at
We had money
there's a
put
camera
aside.
every few metres. And the whole of the UK is covered with cameras. And it really helps crime
Yeah,
control.
we had the money set aside for it, didn't we?
we had 50k in the
50k and the LTP, but
I got ripped out.
And somebody took it out.
I don't know. There is a paper up for discussion this afternoon in networking. There's a paper coming from staff, council staff.
risk and insurance.
Just to show the power of this, when some people arrived to their house 3 months after the place was robbed, and it was trashed as well.
Yeah.
The fridges were open, the food was all over the place, it was an absolute mess. Those cameras are in place, they would have picked that car up straight away and gone after it and known exactly what's going on. So they are a very good security for your people.
Yeah, we're not under any illusions about that, Terry. I mean, we've got informal stuff happening around town at the moment because that's the only option we've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Warwick said, we had them in the LTP and it got removed.
Well, I think there's an
Everything else.
opportunity in the annual plan coming up, that there'll be some discussion around that, so.
Just see we go back round the circle again.
I know.
Yeah, well,
I take those too.
Yeah.
So the board can make this question to the annual plan and see if we can get it back in again.
Anyway.
Yeah. We had volunteers, set it all up, watched it all up. The whole thing. It was all set to go.
yeah.
And then no one would take ownership.
We look forward to this afternoon's networking. Things might get clarified. Okay, well, I'll move that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the Chair's report dated the 15th of July. Can I have a second, please?
Yep.
All in favour? Thank you. Report to exclude the public. So move that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board
I'll second that.
listeners to exclude the public to section 48 Local Government Official Information Meetings Act. Can I have a move and a second, please?
Yeah.
Now, can I just make a suggestion?